Hey Bubu, hey Rothstein, A10 Talk. Your GW debut first, how was it in front of a pretty raucous crowd, and then also how do you think the team played today in the first
I'll say it felt good. Finally getting to play some real games. We've been going at each other for 17 weeks, so it felt good to finally see someone else. But I feel like we showed a lot of good things. Obviously it didn't go the way we wanted to go, but at the end of the day, like a lot of us are happy with what we did in parts of the game.
Marcus Washington, MTC Media. Were either one of you guys surprised by how quick the intensity ramped up? This turned from an exhibition into what looked like a real game awful fast.
Yeah, definitely. We knew it was going to be a battle. We knew as soon as we saw this on the schedule that, it's an exhibition, but it's a lot more than that. Obviously, they're a really tough team, and Coach Cooley's teams, their identity is built on that toughness and being able to battle and everything. So, we just tried everything that we could do to match their toughness, go out there and compete at the highest level. Obviously we want to thank God for allowing, everybody on the court to be able to go out there and, have fun playing playing the game that we love. But yeah, the intensity definitely ramped up big, but, we kind of anticipated that, and we knew that, coming into this game.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And for an exhibition, what did you think about the crowd? Because again, it gave a feel of you're almost playing like a conference game. And how does that help you going forward to just getting used to being in this type of environment?
Yeah, for sure. Like Trey said, we knew it meant a little bit more than just a simple exhibition game. And the crowd was amazing. Even though the exhibition, like you said, sold it out. So going into the season knowing that our fans are going to have that type of support, it gives us a really good feeling.
I'm Ben Spitali from the GW Hatchet, and Trey, as one of the veteran guys on the team, someone who's been here a few years, what was it like to see the crowd tonight and be in such a crazy environment for the Smith Center?
No, it was a great feeling. If you guys were here, my first 2 years. First year was rough. Last year, we kind of flipped into like a 180. So just to see this, coming from where I was when, I was a freshman, and that team being with 6 and 7 freshmen, a few of them aren't here, but, it really speaks to the work and like the loyalty, the loyalty that we have to GW, and it really did feel, regardless of the outcome, it felt great to know that, with the work, that me and my teammates have put in. Also, I think that has a credit to, the new guys that we have, and, people just hearing about our team and everything. It was really cool.
Ron Bailey on 3. Autry, they put their 2-2-1 was fairly effective in the first half. Would you agree with that? And then what do you have to do to tighten up your ability to handle that kind of pressure?
Yeah, they're a great defensive team. The 2-2-1, stunned us. You try to practice everything that you can, but, like I said, it's an exhibition, so they were going to have some tricks up their sleeve. I would just say it's just execution, focusing every day in practice, just tightening up the little things, just getting better at our, simple things, so that, when we get, different situations or different formations thrown at us, we can just adjust and, we act like we've been in a place like that before.
Alternatively, what was the impact of your pickup full-court man?
Yeah.
You also put them on the hill, I thought.
No, for sure. That was something that, like I said, we ramped up last year, just the defensive edge, the defensive pressure, and, I think it did really well for us. Like I said, we jumped from 15 to 7, got a game in the tournament, and I feel like last year, our defensive identity was something that was pretty, out there. People kind of knew of us not as like a scoring team like my freshman year, but as a team who would really play defense. So I think that just continuing to play to that identity, continuing to work on it every single day. We got a lot of depth. So just being able to rotate guys in and out who can pressure up the ball, heat up the ball. It's really early, so once we get that down pat, it's gonna be a sight to see for sure.
Thanks. Sid and Scott.
Hey Trey, Sid High's GW Hatchet. Gary Johnson came out with the first point for your team tonight. Can you talk a little bit about how that felt as a teammate watching him after so much of his journey?
Man, yeah.
What was it like for you?
Yeah, more not even on a teammate perspective. That's like family perspective. Everybody on this team, who's come in, who's come out. I consider them family. So being able to, before the first bucket, when they called him out, being a starter, I was actually really emotional. I've seen him through his highs, I've seen him through his lows. So, and I feel like even the new people who can attest, have only been around him only 3 months. Like you can just see all the work that he's put in, and if you know his story, the adversity. So it was really emotional. It was really happy, good emotion. But it was nice for not only me, who's been around him every single day for the last 3 years, but everybody else to come in and just see, you know, all the work that he's put in kind of come to light.
Scott?
No, good.
You're good? Yeah. Go ahead.
Hi, Katie and CWGW. Bubu, I was wondering what it feels like for you to be making your GW debut in such a historic game like this against Georgetown.
Yeah, even before the game, me and Wu or Tyrone, we were talking about how it kind of felt weird putting on a different jersey than what we were playing in last year. But you know, the excitement, the build up, like it was just great all around. You know, being in a new environment. So.
And then Trey, I was going to ask you what you believe your biggest takeaway to be heading into the regular season after this game is.
Yeah, our biggest takeaway, I mean, obviously this is not the results that we won, but not to say that I'm pleased, but I saw a lot of good sparks, and I saw a lot of things that, you know, really helped me, you know, feel really confident in this group. You know, I've been in the league for 2 years. I would just say just little execution. I think we had 17 turnovers. They shot like a really good percentage from 3, so just picking up on little things. I think if we continue to pick up on little things, it's still early, still October, so nothing's perfect yet, which is also the good thing. But I feel like as we just continue to stack days, continue to keep building, like I said, it's going to be a fun sight to see for GW fans.
Trey, you hit that buzzer beater going to half. You just walk me through that play?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on that shot the whole week. No, you guys think I'm lying, but I'm being so serious. That was it's a fun play. You know, you put it in, you never really think you're gonna have to run the play until you have to run the play. So, I mean, I probably missed every single one of my workout, but that was the one that went in. So that was cool. But you know, on to the next.
Anything else for student athletes? All right, guys. Thank you.